This playthrough is rated T for teen.
Oh man, they really need to get a gardener in this place. It's overgrown. Look at all that. Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Syberia. In the last episode, we got to the factory and met our new friend Oscar, who needs his legs. They ain't there. We need to help him with his legs. Can we actually talk to you? Hey, we can actually talk to someone outside of, well, a couple of people. So, looks like this place is going to be big. Perhaps we should talk to perhaps she's the gardener or works for the place or something like that. Let's see what she has to say.
Good morning. You've got a magnificent garden here.
And I just gotta wait for her to get up. Can't say like, hey, wait a second. You know, just gotta take my time, get ready, get the animation set up.
Oh, please don't talk about it. Since my gardener automaton broke down, there are weeds everywhere. You can't imagine how much work it takes me. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. We're not used to doing without our robot help here in Vauldemare. But everybody says that we're going to have to get used to it.
Okay, apparently they didn't have, whoever did the voice acting didn't coach him on saying the same line. Because that's not how Kate says it, and that's not how, like, the notary says it, so. But, okay. I thought it was Vauldemare or whatever, not Vauldemare. But, you know, whatever, that's fine. It's just a minor inconsistency, but, you know, it didn't kind of get much on it.
Good morning.
Oh, is she going to repeat herself? Oh, good. No extra topic other than her complaining about, oh, my bunions hurt. Oh, my, this is annoying. I don't have my automaton.
Oh, please don't.
Okay, she's just repeating herself, so. Okay, well, thanks for that talk, lady. Yeah, glad we learned something about this hedge maze and everything like that, so. All right, let's go to the first obvious target. This statue there. Perhaps we'll find something. Yeah. Let's see, in that case, let's go back. So, nothing to... Let's look around here. Ooh, risque. No, that's just old art. Okay, well... You think we'd get, like, a description from Kate, like, oh, I love the art, or, oh, this is old, or... Nope. Nothing like that. Okay, that's fine, Kate. You're more stoic. That's fine. Even though you don't really act stoic, but... You're just a lawyer, after all. You got no emotions. Alright, nothing. I wonder if it matters which way I click. Probably not. No. Okay. Well, looks like we might be at a dead end already. At least at this place, but let's see if we... I know I can go down here, but let's check the obvious door first. See what pops up. I assume it's locked?
No point. It's locked.
There's always a point. You know what they say about doors, it's there to keep honest men and women out. But, well, we don't know if Kate is an honest woman yet or not, so. I assume she is. She's the protagonist. Usually, very rarely do you play jerks. Oh, there's, okay, I was about to say, there's gotta be something here. This just doesn't seem like a place you can't explore, so. Hello. Got a, turnkey of some sort, but where does it go? Perhaps somewhere in the factory? Oh, there was that. I think, wasn't the ladder in the previous area, didn't that need a turnkey? Or am I misremembering? I don't know. Well, that's all, and that can't, as far as I know, that can't be used for the door. Because it's not a standard lock, so, yeah, it says it's a Vorlaburg key. Vorlaburg. I don't know why I have trouble saying that. Yeah, I assume that can't be done, and nothing can be done with it. Yep. Okay.
No point.
Yeah, she's just, okay. So we're done with that. Unless we can open that door, we're pretty much done with this place, so. I mean, it was a nice looking place, but I've got to go. Yeah, you think a hedge maze would be longer to get through because of, like, just what it is, but. Now, I know we can go back to the factory now that we, like, set that piece of, like, metal or whatever inside the factory, but I'm checking to see what our other options are before we start building Oscar's legs. We'll probably have to set us up to come back this way later. Oh, wait, this door's locked. Never mind.
The door.
Okay, so let's check this again. I think, didn't this say it needed its key or something like that? Or, yeah, there it is right there. Hopefully Kate's not afraid of heights. Yep, we're done with that key, so, alright, let's go up. Yeah, I don't think Kate's afraid of heights. Very rarely do they have main characters afraid of heights. Sometimes they do. It depends on the... Usually it's comedic adventure games when they do that, so... Hey, conveniently the doors, or the windows open. Lucky for us, I guess. So, no new reaction to being in here, Kate. No coughing, no hazing on the dust and everything like that. No reaction. Cool. All right, what can we interact with? Looks like we can go 2 different ways, though. No obvious, at least not that I'm seeing. Although every once in a while I do accidentally miss the little magnifying icon. So, okay. Nothing interactable here. You go forward. I've got some plates and stuff. What if that just... okay, that just goes back this way. Something here, perhaps? Yeah, a lot of stuff to check, but nothing to actually click. Well, the story of Kate Walker's life, I guess. Okay, we can check the desk. Let's see what's in the desk. The weird... I know that's how the song goes with the transition, but it almost makes me think I found some big secret because of the way I got the music to come in when it goes to the duh. Is that... looks like a button or perhaps a call bell. And then we got a notebook of some... Anna's notebook. Can we open it? Oh, well, sorry. I forgot you had to use these. I was clicking the notebook. I was like, it doesn't open. Anna's notebook. May 14th, 1930. Yesterday, something terrible happened. I do not know who to turn to, who to talk to. I've decided to write it down. You, dear diary, are now my confidant and sole guardian of my secret thoughts. Han lies in the next door room teetering between life and death, and I am terrified. Oh, the injustice of life. First Mama, then Hans. Please, dear Lord, don't take my little brother away, too. I guess that's young Anna we're listening to, but I'm still going to use our old woman voice. May 15th, 1930. Hans may be promised to keep this a secret, but its burden is too heavy. I know I can tell you, though, dear diary. We discovered a cave in the mountains, a marvelous cavern with ancient paintings on the walls. Only prehistoric man could have painted them because they were depictions of mammoths, which are prehistoric creatures as well. That much I know. I hate mammoths now. It's all because of them and because of that stupid prehistoric children's toy. Why, Hans? Oh, why did you try and take it? And why did I let you climb up there? It's my fault you were in a coma now. Hans, if you die, I do not know how I could ever forgive myself. You hate mammoths because of him being a child, basically? May 16, 1930. Hans is still not regaining consciousness. Father cannot sleep and Gertrude cries all day long. Outside, the heat is suffocating, but inside the house is icy cold and dismal. I still have hope, though. I know my brother. I know his strength. He will pull through. He never gives in. Never give up. Never surrender. May 17, 1930. I cannot think of anything else but Hans. In all my waking and sleeping dreams, I see his fall over and over. I see his head hitting the rock and his so pale face softening. I have taken refuge in the attic. It is the only place where I find any peace, wrapped up in all my memories. That would kind of mess me up, too, if I saw a kid falling and hitting a rock. And I'd be like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what do I do? You know. May 18th, 1930. 5 days have passed since the accident, and Hans has still not opened his eyes. To see him like this is unbearable. Please, God, protect him. Take my life, not his. Yeah, survivalist guilt. May 19th, 1930. I feel so desperate, so alone. I want to snuggle up my father's arms, but I dare not. He is just so impassive. Oh, Hans, don't leave me here. May 20th, 1930. It has happened. Hans has come back to life. He opened his eyes and uttered my name. My name. Do you realize? This is the happiest day of my life. I want to take it to the streets and sing, to proclaim my joy to the world. Thank you. Oh, thank you. I want to enjoy the sound of music. May 22, 1930. How wonderful, how beautiful life is. Gertrude and I cannot stop breaking into uncontrollable fits of giggles. Hans even wolfed down his meal today. I knew he was tough, my little brother. Even Father smiled at me today when he said good morning. I guess the father was the stoic type, I guess. May 25th, 1930. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. I'm totally absorbed in Hans' recovery. I have scarcely 5 minutes to myself to return to my refuge and scribble down these words. May 29th, 1930. It is very curious whether Hans is hungry, thirsty, or if he wants something. He cannot stop saying my name. He can't bear it when I leave him for even an instant. Gertrude thinks I should move my bed into his room to help him sleep better. I hope that Father will agree. June 2nd, 1930. Today was the first day that Hans has left the house. We went for a short walk in the garden, but Hans is still very weak. The doctor said we should be patient and shouldn't rush him. It is so hard, though. I hope so much that life can return to how it once was. Probably not. June 20th, 1930. Hans has been out of his coma for a month now. He still doesn't say much and has difficulty moving. Probably took brain damage. He sits motionless for long periods of time, his eyes wide open, as if lost in thought. I have often had to call his name several times before he reacts. Then he will smile, and when he does, the moment is magic for me. I couldn't possibly be happier. June 22nd, 1930. I had to talk to him. The burden was too great. I asked Hans about the accident in the cave to find out what he could remember. He could utter only one word, mammoth, and his eyes glowed so strangely when he said it that he frightened me. September 15th, 1930. I go back to school today, and for the first time in my life I am dreading it. I am afraid of leaving Hans alone. Despite Gertrude's kindness and attention, I have the impression that Hans is much less nervous when I'm there. I guess Gertrude is maybe the maid or something like that. October 20th, 1930. I was doing my homework yesterday evening. Hans crept up on me so quietly that it made me jump. He took a pencil and a blank sheet of paper, and curiously, he started drawing. It is the first time since his accident he has done anything but daydream. Perhaps awoken a memory or inspiration. October 28th, 1930. Hans scribbles almost obsessively. It is all he will do all day long. I feel it annoys Father. Nobody else understands, but I can see that Hans is trying to draw mammoths. The last thing he sees before he hits his head, and now it's ingrained into his brain. November 16th, 1930. Today is my birthday. Gertrude has made me an apple pie, my favorite. But Father has not returned home for lunch, and Hans doesn't want to leave his room. The best present I could ever have is to see Hans back on his way to recovery. December 25th, 1930. Snow is falling. It is so beautiful. January 10th, 1931. The doctor visited to examine Hans. He seems happy that my little brother has fully recovered his faculties. It truly is a miracle. I don't understand why he doesn't talk more, though. Why isn't he livelier, like he was before? Yeah, probably a type of brain damage that affected his, not his motor functions. There is a part of the brain that if it gets damaged can affect speech patterns and stuff like that. February 9th, 1931. It is Hans' birthday. Today he's 11 years old. I have the strangest impressions that actually he has lost 5 years rather than gained one more. Like he's more childlike, maybe. February 24th, 1931. The doctor just left. I saw him whispering with Father. Their serious expressions worried me awfully. What could they be hiding from me? I am grown up now. At the age of 15, you can understand everything. Yeah, that's how a child or teenager would act. I am too scared to ask Father what is happening. March 15th, 1931. I have been thinking, and it seems to me that Hans' attitude isn't normal. The shock of the fall in his coma must have had much more serious effects than we first imagined. Hans, my dear brother, what is happening to you? April 4th, 1931. I have discovered the truth. Hans is stunted physically and mentally. I have eavesdropped a conversation between the doctor, Father, and Gertrude. Gertrude buried her tear-filled eyes in her apron, and Father muttered the word retard under his breath. How could he say such a thing? Yeah, because now that word's considered offensive, but it's based on mental retardation, which is just, the brain not working properly. And I don't know the exact definition. I'd have to look it up, but people find major offense to that word these days. So, but in 1930, that makes sense for someone to say. So, April 13th, 1931 is Easter, and we're on school holidays. This means I can spend all day with Hans and protect him from Father's permanent dark moods. He can't accept the fact that Hans, his only son, will stay in this state forever. Man, I wonder the brain is such a complicated thing. I wonder if it was the way he fell, it was the impact, did his brain get squished up or whatever to cause that to happen, or was it certain, never mind. April 14th, 1931. It is truly difficult to accept it, but it is not Hans' fault. Mine, maybe, but not Hans. I don't understand how to make Father understand. He seems full of hatred for him. It is dreadful. I feel so powerless. Yeah, back in the day, you should feel bad for the person who had to go through that, but now he's just angry that his son is like that permanently. So, May 14th, 1931. 1 year. 1 year has gone by and it feels like an eternity. The situation shows no signs of improvement, neither in terms of Hans' mental health or Father's attitude towards him. Yeah, old school attitudes. May 30th, 1931. Extraordinary. Father's decided to take Hans to Paris for new tests. He says that only in the French capital we find truly competent doctors. We must make Hans ready for the great expedition. Expedition? It's just traveling to France, dude. Paris isn't that big of a deal. No, just kidding. June 6th, 1931. No news from Father and Hans, but I remain hopeful. I am sure they will take good care of my little brother. July 15th, 1931. They have returned. Hans rushed into my arms and started crying. It took me a long time to calm him down and get him to sleep. Father is still as taciturn as he was before he left. The French doctors have confirmed the diagnosis. Hans will remain physically and mentally impaired. I am stunned. I'm surprised that. I guess it must be because he suffered the wound at such an early age that suffered his physical growth as well. Although usually physical stuff was something his body would have done eventually, just the mental part. But I'm not an expert on the brain or anything like that, so. August 28, 1931. The summer is coming to a close and has been less stifling than the last. The sun has put color in Hans' cheek. When I look at him, I have difficulty imagining that he will not change. November 16, 1931. Father still says nothing and creasily shuts himself away in his office at the factory. Christmas. Gertrude tells me that love and faith triumph over any science. I like neither. God be praised. Yay, God. How very inappropriate. Thank you. June 12th, 1932. Father took Hans to the factory this morning. Hans was so afraid that I accompanied them. Fortunately, Father said nothing. I fail to understand why he insisted on bringing him there. I don't know, maybe to... Just because he has mental impaired faculties doesn't mean he can't learn. It just means he might learn at either a different rate or in different ways. You know. But anyway. June 13, 1932. Father left for the factory with Hans once again this morning. I think he wants to persuade Hans that he could be useful for something. It is his way of resisting fate. February 17, 1932. For a month now, every morning, Hans has gone to work with Father at the factory. I'm not exactly sure what he does there, but he seems to enjoy it. I feel my brother's behavior has changed considerably. He is much less capricious. April 14th, 1932. I could cry. Hans has made me a present. A small robot mammoth with a trunk that raises and falls. When Father saw it, he nodded his head in satisfaction. Well, at least he still has decent motor skills, at least. May 20th, 1932. Both Gertrude and Father now have their own robot mammoths. They're even more intricate and finely tuned. Little brother's not such a retard after all. I guess it became maybe something knocked in his brain. Like I say, he's socially awkward. I forgot what that's called. Like, not Asperger's or whatever, but maybe a social, like, because the way he was affected him socially, but he still can figure out complex mechanics and stuff like that. But like I said, not an expert. October 15, 1932. Hans mammoths now walk and raise their trunks and wag their tails. It's incredible. June 22nd, 1932. I met the head at the factory workshop, Mr. Grips, this morning. I think it's Grips. He says that for a young lad of 12, Hans is very gifted. And it's a shame he only makes elephants. Yeah. No, there's a little flower there. Probably for this part. February 11th, 1933. Fathers were locked in a long discussion yesterday. Or should I say, Hans was locked in one of Father's long monologues. It is conceivable that Hans should go to school like other children. Father wants to take him on as a worker at the factory. However, Hans will have stopped making his own little devices. Hans' silence, his half-gaping mouth and staring eyes finally sent Father off in a rage. Ugh. February 12th, 1933. I tried to broach the subject with Hans. I suggested he should obey Father. Learning a craft at the factory is one chance to do something constructive with his life. He is so gifted and takes so much pleasure making automatons. He did look like he wasn't listening to me, but I know he'll think about what I said. A good little younger brother to the older sister, I guess. Yeah. February 20th, 1933. It's not that Hans can't speak, it's rather he doesn't want to speak. He uses the least possible words for communication, except with me, but he's still very economical with his words. I know people like that. I'm kind of like that myself. Yeah, ironic being I make videos like this, but in real life I don't talk very much, so unless it's necessary. May 15th, 1933. Incredible! Hans was not just satisfied with learning how the assembly line works. Instead, he's completely redesigned it. Father and Monsieur Grips are taking a serious look at his plans. I'm not going to do the whole game in a French accent, especially how bad mine is. July 10th, 1933. Father has wanted to talk to me about my future since I passed my exams. He wants to send me to university because he says my intelligence is astounding. My heart was beating so loud. Is it true? I do love studying, but I couldn't bear to be away from Hans. September 2nd, 1933. Man, long journal. Although, realistically, that, back in the day, people would write and stuff like that all the time because they didn't have other ways of, either other things to do, other ways of communication, so this is one way to express themselves. September 2nd, 1933. What a ghastly summer. I've been permanently torn between my desire to go to university and my refusal to leave my brother. I talked about it with Hans, but he said nothing. That same evening, I found my own little mammoth broken. Uh-oh. He expressed himself in many different ways. October 9th, 1933. Hans is in another fit of hysterics at dinner time. Father announced that Hans' new assembly line would soon be finished. However, they removed the automaton parrots that shout orders as they were deemed superfluous. Hans was livid, has hurled his soup to the ground and stormed off to his bedroom. What will happen between the both of them when I'm not here? October 17, 1933. Despite my scruples, I am finally leaving. Hans has not talked to me for a week. Father would not understand if I told him why I wanted to say, my heart is so heavy. Christmas. It is so strange to be home. I had never left home for such a long time before. Once we were alone, Hans did not stop talking. Words just leaped from his mouth. How he laughed at his excitement, presented me with a delightful little ballerina to replace the mammoth, he told me. I was so touched I started crying. Distance has done nothing to harm the strong bond between us. September 10, 1937. It is strange to pick up this diary once more. At first my impulse was to tear it up. How long ago has that been since the 2? Yeah, at least 4 years. At first my impulse was to tear it up. I resisted and instead succumbed to my desire, which was to write for a while. I am alone in my attic once more. I have been home for 2 months now, and after a summer spent living with the intense joy of being reunited with my brother, Hans returned to the factory. Father has aged so, and Gertrude's arthritis causes her terrible pain. Yeah, arthritis, man. I do have a minor set of carpal tunnel myself, so not the same exact thing, but... September 13, 1937. All in all, these last 4 years have been kind to Father and Hans. Their relationship is less tense. They still do not exchange much conversation, but now they have a thing in common, the factory. I'm even beginning to feel a bit jealous. Still, really. September 17, 1937. Hans hasn't changed. To help Gertrude, he has designed a totally automated kitchen, and Gertrude can't stop moaning at the wood puppets. Oh, how I adore them. Moaning, huh? October 19, 1937. I went to go and see Father and Hans at work. I hadn't been to the factory for ages. It's strange how much it has changed. I was very curious to see them and set about their tasks. I like Father's new office very much. Hans has a small workshop on the first floor, crammed with odds and ends, unfinished robots and designs, exactly as I imagined it, in fact. October 15, 1937. The factory is working very well. Orders for toys keep coming in, spurred on by the run-up to Christmas. When I was at university and said my name was Vorlaburg, people would ask me if I had any relation to the Vauldemare factory. Now I know they bet that Hans' genius is out of the factory's renown. November 2nd, 1937. To make myself useful, I started helping Father set his papers in order. The most extraordinary thing of all is that, for the first time ever, I had the impression that the three of us formed... Yeah, after was it, 7 years or something like that, and the accident and everything like that. December 8th, 1937. Hans has never ceased to surprise me. Between home and the factory, his behavior is so very different. In his workshop, he is seriously concentrated, a proper young man who keeps his eye on everything going on constantly on the move and in control. One has the impression that each single toy in his very own infant. In his very own infant? Oh, is his very own infant, right. At home, he turns back into a child once more and is either moody or a happy-go-lucky buffoon. Well, it looks like maybe some of the damage he took as a child has kind of healed itself, so... Which can happen at younger ages. It's harder when you get older and certain damage, but anyway. Christmas. The most wonderful Christmas of my whole life. Hans and I cannot stop giggling like children beneath Father's disapproving glare. I know that he was only pretending, really. Our hearts are so full of hope. January 5th, 1938. Hans came to see me in my bedroom yesterday evening. I felt terribly awkward, terribly ill at ease. I might have guessed. Hans wants to leave. Leave Vauldemare. The house and the factory. He wants to go traveling. He doesn't know where to or for how long. That's just like him. I was so shocked that I told him his plans were foolish. He left my room without saying a word. His head bowed. The same lady who went off to university and all this other stuff, so... but you know, kids and age and all that. January 7th, 1938. I thought that he wanted to leave because of Father. Not at all. It's because of the mammoths. He wants to go tracking mammoths. I thought he'd gotten over his obsession. I know my brother only too well. I wouldn't dream of telling him his quest is useless. It isn't worth it. He will not listen to reason. Yeah, well, the mammoth were one thing, and I don't remember at this time in the world if they'd found the frozen mammoth, fossils and stuff like that yet or not. Maybe? I haven't really studied that in forever. January 10th, 1938. I was so selfish the other evening. I returned to talk to Hans and asked him gently if he was sure of his decision. I already know what the reply is going to be. Nothing will make him change his mind. January 19th, 1938. Despite my profound sadness and despair, I must help Hans fulfill the destiny he has chosen and announce the news to Father. I fear the worst. January 24th, 1938. The worst was worse than my fears. Father's anger was terrifying. He shut Hans away in his workshop at the factory and has forbidden all visits from Gertrude, who feeds him. Yeah, that's the way to, get your kid from lock him up in the tower like Cinderella or something like that. February 1st, 1938. Father has decided that Hans should remain locked up for as long as it takes him to abandon his infantile decisions. Wouldn't that keep him staying? Or wouldn't it want him to leave more because of how much it makes you mad? Anyway. Gertrude tells me that Hans is very despondent, yet highly resolute. The worrying is driving me mad. It's driving me mad. February 16, 1938. As soon as Gertrude returns from the factory, I hasten to get news of my little brother. He doesn't say anything. He just fiddles with bits and pieces, she replies, every day with a sigh. I have tried desperately to reason with Father, but I know I am just wasting my breath. February 9, 1938. Hans is 18 years old today, and he is all on his own for his birthday. Ugh, that's kind of messed up. February 20th, 1938. In secret, Gertrude delivered to me a small robot from Hans. It is a robot that works with a small cylinder punched with tiny holes. I quivered with emotion as I turned the key. The message it gave me was simple. He was telling me he loved me very much. Oh, a nice brother. Gertrude. February 21st, 1938. Gertrude gave me a different tiny cylinder for today's toy. Hans is truly incredible. He has found a means of communicating between us and us alone, a total secret. February 27th, 1938. My days are spent eagerly waiting Hans's messages. He has now resolved to run away. He is preparing his escape, like if it was a game. Well, I mean, if he's good with the machines, I wouldn't be surprised if he'd figure out how to pick the lock and stuff like that, or with some toy or something like that. Kind of reminds me of the movie Toys for some weird reason. March 16, 1938. Gertrude has returned. She is beside herself. Hans has disappeared. Father is not designed to return to his workshop where he locked up his son, nor find out how he managed to escape. He just gave me a black look as if he knew we were up to something behind his back. Well, I mean, you did lock up your boy, so it's like... March 7th, 1938. It is beginning to dawn on me that Hans is gone. I miss him so much. Lord, please protect my little brother and watch over him for me. March 11th, 1938. With Hans gone, Father now locks himself away night and day at the factory. The house is so gloomy now. Well, he's depressed now that his son's gone, even though you're the one who locked him up. Ugh. March 12th, 1938. This morning I caught Father in the drawing room installing a coffin on a trestle. The sight of it made my blood freeze. What on earth is he up to? My questions mean only with a stony silence and permanent black countenance. Ugh. Sorry. 13, 1938. Behind closed curtains in the drawing room with the coffin surrounded by huge candles has become a veritable funeral chamber. So he's symbolically seeing the death of his boy or something like that. March 14, 1938. This is ghastly. I have just understood what Father's up to. This morning the priest came to pray before the coffin and finally caught on. Father is in mourning for the death of Hans. Father made the priest believe that his son was dead. How could he do such a thing? Alright, dude, you need to calm down. The father. But March 16, 1938. In the madness occasioned by his grief, my father grows ever more cold and calculating. He contacted his old friend, Dr. Schmoll, who duly grew up as a bona fide death certificate without even seeing the body. I dare not imagine what yarn he spun. March 17, 1938. Hans's funeral will be officially held next Sunday. Father strictly forbade me to attend. This sordid masquerade makes me feel ill, but I cannot denounce the subterfuge, or I will display my father's mental instability to the world. The shame would kill him. That much is certain. Well, he's already done much things to be ashamed of, but... March 12th, 23rd, 1938. I have to get away. Far, far away. Wow, I wonder what happened in a week. April 23rd, 1938. No, I will not leave. I have thought long and hard. My life is here, next to my father. He needs me too much now. The factory needs me because Father is incapable of running it now. Besides, I can only find peace of mind among Hans's robots. And how shall I know when he has sent me new ones if I am not at home to receive them? No, I shall not leave. My destiny is to remain here. I keep watch. Well, she did keep watch till she died, I guess. So, I don't know, but ooh, that was a bit of a tale, folks. So, what do we get here? An ink bottle, huh? Well, that might be cause for. That was definitely an episode I didn't consider reading the whole journal the whole time. So, yeah, Anna's journey from good sister worried about her brother to Hans leaving. So it gives us a kind of an idea of the timeline. Well, I mean, it gave us a perfect timeline, but really, there's nothing else in here? I mean, I know we can leave back the way we came, but that just seems like that seems like an unnecessary, like, isolated area, if that makes sense, folks. I'm double checking it just to make sure I didn't accidentally, like... I mean, I may have to come back here. Like I said, sometimes in games you have to come back to old areas if you find some new information or whatever. Although I don't remember this game being too complicated about stuff like that. So, yeah, I don't see anything else, so... Alright, I guess we go back out the way we came since we can't leave this place, so... I guess the big thing was the journal and the oil bottle. Or, sorry, oil bottle. Ink bottle. Oil can. Oil can. Sorry. Alright, well, looks like we had a mighty fine day of reading. We found out what happened to Hans and Anna. Oh, well, how Hans left anyway, not really where he is at this moment. We have a good consideration of where he is. But what about Oscar and his legs? Will we finally figure out how to fix his legs and get him on driving the train and getting our way towards Hans's location? Find out next time in the next episode of Syberia. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.